There is an idea floating about that it's necessary feminist praxis to be mean or rude. And not just to men, but within our feminist groups and spaces. This idea comes from the fact that as women and girls, we are socialized to be compliant, accommodating, agreeable, and yes, nice. And so, according to some women, to be mean, cruel, or rude becomes a necessary rebellion against patriarchal conditioning. And those women feel it's imperative that we communicate in a combative and aggressive way, even amongst ourselves. It's an interesting idea that women are not naturally nice, that we are naturally as aggressive as males, and it's only through socialization that our aggressiveness is removed. As a 95% black-pilled woman, I mostly disagree with socialization theory. When we discuss socialization theory, we're often talking about the idea that males are socialized to become violent, and it's only through cultural norms and family environments that violent males are created, that there's nothing biologically inherent in a male that would cause him to be violent, and violence is solely a learned behavior. I wholeheartedly disagree with this idea, although I do believe rape culture exists, and some men on the margin who engage in that behavior are empowered or emboldened by rape culture. But we don't often talk about the socialization of females. And I do believe that for girls and women, there is a lot of brainwashing and reinforcement that happens. It's undeniable that the majority of us are subjected to thousands, if not millions, of exposures to fairy tales, Disney princesses, males in power positions and subordinate females, and advertising which objectifies women. But as with male rapists, I don't believe that socialization tells the whole tale. And prevalent though socialization is, I believe there is a natural element to our niceness as well. To say that there isn't is to say that women are naturally as aggressive as males, and all evidence points to that not being the case. When I've expressed these views in the past, I've been accused of being a red-pilled MRA a la Jordan Peterson. And I'm not, and I really can't stand red-pilled males or their dumbass pseudo-intellectual misogyny. MRAs see this nature argument and think that everything is functioning correctly in the world, that misogynistic systems like rape culture and female brainwashing are just an extension of how things naturally operate in the wild and amongst our primate ancestors. And if anything, we should reinforce them. I totally disagree. Although I believe strongly in a nature component to our behavior, I think we should work vigorously to dismantle both rape culture and the brainwashing of girls and women. Dismantling all systems that encourage female oppression is the goal of radical feminism. But is being rude to each other a good way to do that dismantling? I don't think so, and here's why. Feminism benefits most from an optimal flow of ideas and information amongst women. Good communication and consciousness raising are both key to the flow of ideas and information. Mean, abusive, and rude behavior shuts down communication and therefore is counter to creating a positive and productive environment for feminist discourse to flourish. In which space would you feel more encouraged to speak up and participate? A space wherein women are denigrating each other, targeting others for bullying, and attempting to out-snark one another? Or a space where disagreement is polite, where women share their opposing views without fear of retribution, where the overall tone is nice? Participating in feminist discourse already requires a woman to be trusting and vulnerable, especially in spaces where many or most participants are anonymous. Adding a layer of vitriol just makes participating that much more difficult. Some of my favorite comments are ones that disagree politely. It shows that the commenter is engaged with the material and attempting to work through her own thoughts, come to a common understanding, or expand the conversation, all of which are great things in a feminist community. And many of those comments helped me expand my viewpoint. I've long said that radical feminists are some of the most open-minded women, because it's hard to get here without being open-minded, and we should keep those open minds as we encounter ideas within our spaces. On my last video, Elaborate Torture Devices, many women disagreed with some of my thoughts, and I appreciated those women for speaking up. To me, that shows that I'm fostering an environment here where women aren't scared to disagree, and I think that's a great thing. That environment is the opposite of the typical conversation you would see in a place like Twitter. Twitter is toxic, and the nature of discourse on Twitter has unfortunately begun to pollute other online spaces. On Twitter, like on Facebook, the male-designed algorithm promotes rage-inducing content and maximizes the amount of rage that users experience. One way it achieves this is by promoting and rewarding the most obnoxious, rude, and cruel hot takes. Users are rewarded with powerful dopamine in the form of likes and retweets for posting things that are substanceless, snarky one-upmanship. Twitter is not a good place for women, and it's not a good place for community building. What Twitter is good for is being a place where narcissists engage in self-aggrandizement, mostly achieved through bullying others. Real communication does not happen there. Isn't saying that we should always act nice in our spaces a form of tone policing? I would answer that question by saying that the term tone policing is a manipulative silencing tactic aimed at women who are trying to promote an environment where women feel safe to speak up and be heard. The alternative to a tone-policed environment is an environment where women attack each other. So accusing women of tone policing is a tactic aimed at keeping us fighting. Are you saying that women must be nice at all times? What I'm saying is that being nice is optimal for productive discourse and for creating an environment where a woman feels safe and doesn't have to worry that what she says is going to cause others to jump down her throat and be cruel to her. In that environment, a woman will self-censor and silence herself. Is saying be nice arguing that we should never disagree or critique certain ideas? No. You can absolutely disagree and critique ideas, but you should do so without resorting to personal attacks and bullying. Analysis and criticism are key parts of radical feminism. Radical feminism functions best when it's not an orthodoxy. In other words, when we feel free to bring lots of different ideas to the table to be dissected and analyzed. This is part of the learning process, and it's important to recognize that all women are going to be at different stages on the continuum of enlightenment. And we should encourage and promote learning by creating and fostering a friendly environment. Is a critique of ideas the same as a personal attack? No. It's really only people who have extremely thin skin that equate critiquing ideas as a personal attack on themselves. For example, critiques of makeup or dating men or femininity or het sex are not personal attacks on anyone, and no one should ever take them as such. If you feel personally attacked by philosophical discussions of those topics, that indicates that you, my sister, have more work to do. Is being assertive the same as being aggressive? No. Being assertive in your convictions is a good thing. Being aggressive towards women is not. If you see no distinction between assertiveness and aggression, then you are viewing women through the same lens as patriarchy. But power-dominant men are aggressive. Shouldn't we mirror their behavior? Do you want to reinforce patriarchy? Then sure, go ahead and act like men. Maybe it even feels good. But by adopting the posture of the power-dominant group, aren't you just acting to reinforce a patriarchal structure? Being nice with the aim of optimizing communication amongst women is actually the real power move. Being nice is not incompatible with being powerful or dominant. Being nice is not the same as being submissive. Speaking of men, always ask yourself who benefits. Who benefits when we attack each other? Being nice is about optimizing communication and participation. Who benefits when women are scared to participate and communication is hindered? What does bullying accomplish in moving us forward as feminists? What does it accomplish in furthering our enlightenment and efforts at consciousness raising? As feminists, we should be doing everything in our power to create spaces where women feel safe and empowered to speak up. If you can't express yourself without attacking others, then you really need to take a break from these spaces and probably from the internet as a whole until you are able to communicate in a productive way. Some people feel that attacking others is an integral part of expressing themselves freely. Those people are going to bring down the quality of a feminist community and stifle real feminist discourse. Cruel barbs, rude behavior, and bullying women contributes about as much to substantive feminist discussion as throwing a pie in someone's face. So instead of shaming women for being nicefems, think about how you in your words and actions can help foster an environment where all women feel comfortable and empowered to speak up. See you next time.